Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, here to the bullpen. I am Detective Ran, and with me, of course, is my partner, uh, Senior Detective Garrett. As we go through and open up another file, what file are we opening today, sir?
Since it's Halloween and we're in that spooky season, I think we're going to talk a little bit about the Scarecrow, the fear.
The Scarecrow. I have to admit, this iteration of the Scarecrow really unnerved me when I saw him in uh, Arkham Knight.
Right.
The whole mask falling apart, the dead eyes, the gas mask. He is one of my favorite. A lot of people don't like him because he's brainy. He doesn't have the muscle mass to take on the Batman. But ever since I saw him in Batman the Animated Series,
Yes.
that's what did it for me. That is what did it for me.
I agree 100%. The fact that the Scarecrow really wasn't introduced until, I believe, in the comics, like the New 52s, until 1987 is when he was introduced into the system. And one of the biggest things that people don't understand about Dr. Crane, Dr. Jonathan Crane, is the fact that um, he's all brains and no brawn. Like you said, he really didn't have the muscle capacity to go up against Batman, but he didn't really need it because he always partnered up with somebody like the Joker or like Penguin, or he had somebody who had enough brawn to take care of what always just the executioner and the brains behind everything. Um, so you want to get into a little history of like why Dr. Crane, who has two PhDs, one in psychology and one in chemistry, why he went off the rails, I guess is the best way to put it.
Yeah, I mean, let's go with it. Let's see. You're going post crisis in the modern era.
Modern era, talking childhood and abuse and all of that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So
Go ahead.
So for a lot of the fans of the show, and and us as detectives, we have to know our criminals. We have to know what makes them tick. Sometimes to be exactly, there you go, exactly what I'm talking about. To know our enemy, I guess, is to to understand them. So you have to look back at Jonathan Crane's, was abused by his parents. He was, had a almost like a Munchausen syndrome complex with his mother. It was very toxic mother son relationship, and his father didn't really have a lot to do with him. So he sat in his room and he read all the time. He studied. He went to school, and he was picked on and bullied because he looked like Ichabod Crane from Sleepy Hollow. Which that's getting his kind of scarecrow persona with the headless horseman and the pumpkin, and he didn't want to go with the whole pumpkin scene thing. So he one day saw a burlap sack just laying on the ground, and he thought, well, what if I, instead of stuffing it with straw and everything, I just sewed it up and cut the eye holes in and tore it a little bit, and that would be my mask, and that would be my alter persona of who I am inside, showing on the outside, basically. That's a little backstory and history. What would you say to most of that as far as his background? Would you agree with most of that? How he?
Oh, definitely. Again, I think I mean, I love the way he was played in Batman the Animated Series, no doubt.
Oh
No,
yeah,
I thought they
absolutely.
were good, but seeing him in Batman Begins, at first I really wasn't too impressed with him in the beginning. Just going around squirting the fear gas, but for that world, this gives you that whole thing of that fear gas and Batman flying around. The citizens are affected by that gas. This gives
Yep.
Batman that whole fear persona. And just like Telephone, the game Telephone, where I tell you this and someone else tells it, they embellish it or they leave something out, the legend grows. This is how you get this big fear thing for Batman. Remember, if you watch the movie, when he's flying over the neighborhood, they see him as this nightmarish creature.
Oh yeah, like this
Okay.
big, scary bat, like
Yeah.
vampirish type character.
I mean, and then of course, again, when we revisit him in the Dark Knight because he gets away, right?
Yep.
And he's telling the Russians, he goes, I told you that my drugs would take you to new heights. I never told you where and how far you would fall from those heights. You know what I mean?
Right.
I love that whole thing. He was one of those ones because of the fear gas. I mean, Joker is the homicidal maniac, uh, you know, kill you, your girlfriend, and then your dog, but take your goldfish for a walk type of villain. Scarecrow
Right.
is Scarecrow is in it just for the fear of it. He doesn't necessarily mean that he wants to kill you, but he would rather kind of study you. You know what I mean? He's the one that's going to push that button to watch you crawl out of your skin or see the effects of whatever particular phobia that you have. And to be honest with you, being here in Gotham, this is one of the ones that I don't want to run into. I don't want to get hit with any of this fear gas because I have a certain fear that I really I can handle just about anything, but like one or two things.
Yeah. No, I'm right there with you. I've
You know what I mean?
it,
And I'm telling you,
I've gone as far as saying, there's two things I don't do. I don't do spiders. I don't do snakes.
there you go.
Um,
That's it. I'm the Indiana Jones on the force.
yeah,
I don't do
I,
no
I don't
snakes.
do I don't do spiders. I don't do snakes. So if I'm hit with fear gas and I see either one of those two even crawling around, I'm done. You might as well just pack me in a pine box because it's over for me. Um, but what people, Jonathan Crane is, he's a psychologist first and foremost. He worked at Arkham Asylum. He studied the criminally insane to the point that he went insane. It's not the fact that you know he um he set out to be, and it all stems from his anxiety. That's what he
Yeah.
suffers from his the Munchausen syndrome with his mother. Of looking for her approval on everything, and then the fact that his dad reason. So being that psychologist, he wanted to study the human psyche in the most criminally insane place of Gotham. Well, when you take someone of that already has a mental illness, first and foremost, has already been abused most of their life, and then you put them in a surrounding of insanity, the entire structure is going to become insanity, which is what
You
he
go ahead.
becomes. Now, is he wants people to experience that fear so he can still, like you said, back to your point, he can study them. And you're right, he doesn't really want to kill people, beat them up, whatever. He has other people that'll do that for him. He makes those partnerships. but he wants to see that fear, and he, thrives off of seeing that fear. He almost has a, you know, we're going to go this a little NC-17 here, a little orgasmic experience because of the fear.
Well, it says here also in his file that he once suffered from a fear of cows because he was attacked by cows at one
Yeah.
point. And after being in an encounter with Batman, he has a fear of bats. And I can understand that one. That one definitely.
Yep.
So he was also in I didn't know this, but he was also in the Batman Beyond comic book series. And that's one of the ones that I wish I would have picked up on. I really would have. Here it is, Batman Beyond, revealed in 2010, the comic storyline. Oh, wait a minute. He actually retired from his life of crime and spent the last years of his life writing out experiments before dying of an illness. So they actually put him in there so he wasn't actually in the thing. But I think some of the better Batman comics did come from the animated universe. I've got the whole first run and part of the second run, still the original first printings, and I was able to hold on to those, thank God. But I didn't get a hold of the Batman Beyond, and I'm a little upset about that. And I kind of wish that I would have, because the storylines were so in depth. We got that whole thing of Batman and Batgirl, and that, of course, it upset some fans. And I kept thinking to myself, I don't understand how you guys keep putting, he's a man. He's a man. He's a lonely man. Batman is a very lonely individual. You can always say, well, he's got Catwoman, he's got Talia. None of these relationships work. Talia drugged him and then pretty much raped him. And
so that she could have Damian.
And that was another character that in the series that I at first I could not stand Damian. Oh my God, I could not stand that. But when Batman went to hell for Damian, I was like, okay, that's some stuff. That's some fatherly love, But Damian prefers Dick Grayson to be his Batman than Bruce Wayne.
Yes.
But this character, this villain, I've always had an admiration from. I'm not a big Penguin fan. I always thought he was a boring villain, and now they've changed him up a little bit. Even like with the new iterations of what they did with Batman, starting with the Telltale series, the video game, where they make Thomas Wayne in with the mob. Same thing with the new Batman movie, The Batman, with the sparkling vampire dude, who actually did a pretty good job. You can't, I gotta be honest, I was like, this is gonna suck. I don't want to do this. I own a Batmobile with this character in it. I own the DVD. I thought that Colin Farrell did a great job. I was really hoping that maybe we get, maybe we get the Scarecrow, but I hear the rumors are that we're going to get Hush. I really think that's a little early.
I agree.
In his career for that. You have what? You have Riddler and Joker behind Arkham City. I really would have preferred, because now the time for me, the time for fear is ripe. You just had this big thing. You had the mayor get shot live on TV. This should be a great experiment. You know what I mean? As long as they don't try to
Yeah,
bring
no.
Bane in, I always thought
Mm,
that was kind of like a cop out. You know, we're gonna bring Bane in. I'm like, well, Bane doesn't come along until way much later. You know, if you're gonna do that, you might as well give me Killer Croc first
right. Yeah.
and do the story well. But I
You know,
would
give
love
me
to
the
see the
royal
Scarecrow,
flushing first.
right?
You know,
I mean, that's
give me
kind of the
and
thing.
all that.
Yeah. Speaking of which,
So did you see Scarecrow's iteration in DC Titans?
no, I did not. Wait a minute.
Okay.
Is
So
because
he teams up with
I'm
the
at
Red.
the part in Titans. I'm at the part in Titans now where Superboy shaved his head and he's trying to look like Lex Luthor.
Okay.
So
Um
I didn't finish it.
there's a part in there where he teams up with Red Hood and does the whole Lazarus thing for the Lazarus pit and uh makes the whole Red Hood thing come to life, and he basically uses Red Hood as the brawn to his brain. We
I
never get to
totally missed
see,
that.
yeah, we never get to see the actual burlap mask. He wears the face mask, the gas mask, and
Right.
you see all that, but you don't see the actual burlap sack. And I was waiting for that to happen. I was like, the whole time, the whole couple episodes, I was like, okay, we're finally getting that, and we didn't, and that disappointed me. However, the um the actual criminal psychologist side that we wanted to see, where he's like helping Red Hood, become this villainous character and all this other, and talking him through it. That's when you get to understand him as a psychologist. He makes the
Okay.
fear, all of that. You see um, there's one question goes, well, who's the chemist that created your fear toxin? Yeah, here you go. And
This
he's
guy right here,
like,
right? Okay,
no
I
one.
did see that.
Yep.
I didn't know. You know what? And I'm pretty sure they mentioned that was Crane, but I kind of, like you said, I kind of overlooked it because I didn't see, like you said, I didn't see Scarecrow.
Right. You see the he's the doctor at this point. He's
Yeah.
helping, Red Hood and all this. But, he said, well, who created your fear toxin? And he's like, no one. I have a degree in another degree in chemistry. I created it myself. This is my design. And, he wants to put it in all the water because, again, he just wants to see the world burn on the point of everybody being fearful of each other. He just wants to sit back and watch the chaos and study the chaos. And that's what I, for lack of better terms, fear about Scarecrow, because he doesn't want to kill you. He just wants to study you as you die.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think there's a more correct assumption that's ever been made. He doesn't care to kill you, but he does want to study you as you die. Like he wants to see the chaos and study the chaos and doesn't care if you die or not, but he's not going to kill you.
There was a in the Arkham Knight game, the way he talks to Batman, and I wish the algorithm would allow me to show it, because he puts this monologue on about people from Gotham City. You have until such and such time to get out of Gotham City. Gotham is now mine. I'm going to bring not only this city to his knees, but Batman to his knees. And the way he's saying it, I was just like, oh, now that's a villain. But at the end of the game, he gets Batman to unmask himself.
Yes.
And I was just like, I didn't know how I felt at first about it. You know what I mean? We have this villain who was, again, Scarecrow hires Jason Todd, who comes out and who's, basically taking on Batman with this army
Yep.
of thugs, well militarized army. And Batman's just got his car. There's Robin there, but he's also been infected with the Joker toxin, and it's slowly killing him, and it's warping his mind at the same time. But he finally gets there, and Scarecrow tries to intimidate him with fear. And
Right.
Batman turns the tables, of course, and injects him with it. But now the world knows that he's Batman, so he kills off the persona. But this character is one of those characters that, like you said, it scares me to think that somebody like that is out there, and done right, would give somebody he would fit right in with this new The Batman storyline.
Oh, 100%. And if I'm not Hollywood, and I've stated 100 times over that Hollywood doesn't have an original thought, but anyone that would be, that's a true fan, or say it, if they were looking for a true storyline to go with, it's, the Scarecrow, by all means. Now, going back to what you said about unmasking Batman, that's derived directly from the comics and from Batman the Animated Series. There's actually a scene in both of them where the Joker, once he unmasked, he goes, "Why did you do that?" He goes, "Now
Yeah.
you've destroyed all of the fun that I was going to have. The not knowing who Batman was part of the fun. It was part of the, and you've taken that from me." And then he and Scarecrow get into this, like, just all out brawl because he's pissed that the Scarecrow is gone and taken away the nostalgia, I guess, or the part of him that still wanted to wonder who Batman was. And when he's like, "Bruce Wayne, really, all this time?" And he's like, "Well, I'm done. I don't want to do anything anymore." And that right there for me was, reading it in the comic book, and then years later seeing it on the small screen on TV, and them redoing that scene. I was like, "Oh my God, that is like one of the best scenes to do," because that whole episode, that whole comic book, Scarecrow is just screwing with Batman, hitting him with fear toxin, making him fight Robin. He's just destroying his mental psyche. And then at the very end, he calls him to unmask, and then Joker's like, "You did all this for nothing." It was like all of Scarecrow's work that he had done to make insane was for nothing, because the part that Joker wanted was that boyhood, who is he, that mystery was gone. And that's where the whole brawl between him and Joker became, and that rivalry. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
See, those are some of the best pictures. The face mask one on the end is probably one of my favorite ones. I mean, the cartoon version is cool, but the hood and the gas mask, that right there is probably, 100%.
That hangman's noose lightly
Yes.
tied around his neck. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and that's kind of one of the things, like you were saying, that with the Joker, it's he actually kidnapped the whole Batman family, and he made Batman think that he killed him, and he was like, "Look, they're holding you back. I need to get you back on your game. These guys are holding you back." Joker has this bromance with Batman that is just unparalleled.
Well, we see that at the end of the Killing Joke. I've seen it time again. That is the best part of that series. The comic book, the live, the movie, everything is at the very end when the both of them are standing there just laughing at each other. It's yin and yang. They're two sides of the same coin. And that's why, Batman can never kill Joker, and Joker can never kill Batman. Now, Now Joker will kill every family will kill Batman because he needs Batman and Batman needs him.
Yeah, and I feel sorry for the person that does kill Batman. I mean, if you think you just have the Batman family after you, you're gonna have the Joker after you because that's his. You know what I mean? He's
Right.
made it very clear that Batman is his.
Exactly.
But again, this guy, I love that whole motif. His whole thing about the fear. And that's just one of the villains that I would really hate. I mean, just oh my
I wouldn't want to
god.
meet in a dark alley.
Yeah, I mean the fear gas and I remember the Super Friends Scarecrow, and I just kept thinking to myself, God, I just thought it was a joke. You know what I mean? I knew he had the way they made his fear gas stuff, and I was just like, oh, what a joke. You know what I mean? Batman always had some type of whatever toxin to, get away from the fear gas or whatever.
Right.
As a matter of fact, that episode, Challenge of the Super Friends, I can't remember, it was like 1980, 1982, something like that. Challenge of the Super Friends. The episode is called The Man with No Fear. And Batman and Robin are chasing down these criminals and they stop at Crime Alley. Batman hesitates. Of course, Scarecrow hits him with the fear toxin. This puts back all the memories of that night. Yada yada. And I love it. And I think that, if I'm not mistaken, that was one of the first times when I realized that was Adam West's voice. You know what I mean? Doing Batman.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
I was freaking out. I was like, oh my God, this is Adam West. And I always had that suspicion that there's something else. And of course, with the evolution of Batman, the way he's come now, and the way he's portrayed now, there's more than just that. There's the fear of losing now. Damian, in Arkham Knight, his whole thing was all about Robin and Batgirl and Alfred, his family. They used to say that he was the alone Dark Knight. Batman works better without a partner. Well, that myth has been shattered. Batman does not work. I mean, he works well alone, but he needs those partners. He needs that connection to family to make him stronger, to make him not go over the deep end, because an angry Batman is something that nobody wants.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. You're right.
You know what I mean? That's, you have somebody like that. And then, of course, everybody, well, Superman can do this. Yes, but let's face it. Superman is a goody-goody. Okay, guys? Superman will never do that. He will never do that. He lives in a cardboard world, so he limits himself. He would never go after Batman the way Batman would go after Superman. And that's what makes Batman dangerous. Superman has said it himself. Batman is the most dangerous man on this world, on this planet.
Because he has something that will take every single super friend or villain that is out there.
He's dangerous.
This man stood in the face of Doomsday with no superpowers whatsoever and went one-on-one with Doomsday, knowing he was going to get his rear end handed to him. He went one-on-one with Doomsday and was like, okay, here we go.
I love that. I watched that the other day, brother. I watched that the other day, and Superman's like, did you get the spear? Batman looked at him. I've been busy. I was like, damn, okay.
I've been a little busy, sorry.
So, he's always been one of my favorite characters. Unfortunately, I've been kind of gravitating towards the Red Hood only because of the guns and the, I'm tired of pulling punches type things, but ultimately the Dark Knight is where it's always been at. Seeing him as Michael Keaton come back, oh my God, I just, the way they closed the chapter on him, hurt my heart a little bit. not even gonna lie, I was just like,
Right.
oh, come on, just give me just a little bit more Keaton. I mean, he went out like a badass. I'm not gonna front, but I really wish we would have got, just I mean, the Batgirl movie I did not want to see, but Keaton was supposed to be mentoring her. I would have loved to seen that. I'm not gonna lie. I
Yeah.
think the movie would have been trash. I'm not even gonna lie. I think the movie would have been trash. But just to
Oh,
see
I
Keaton
agree.
again, you know what I mean? I would have loved to do that. But it is what it is. You and I have come together for our love of basically Batman and some of the DC universe, but primarily the Batman universe. And I love that. It's always a pleasure to get with you and talk to you about some of this stuff. And
Oh, 100%. I agree. This
you
this
know,
one has been because it was October, I thought this was fitting to kind of open, the file. And we're going to close it here in a second. On the Scarecrow, you're right. The love of the Batman, the Batman universe, and just the iterations out there that we can talk about. I mean, we could go hours just talking about the different, iterations of the Dark Knight, the Batman, Batman and Robin, Azrael, Red Hood, Lucius Fox, Luke Fox. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on. And the fact that, we can share that with everyone else is what I enjoy the most, of having someone who is as well versed in the Batman universe as, I try to be. It's nice to be able to have that camaraderie and talk because sometimes that brotherhood, I guess, is the best way to put it.
oh yeah, I'm telling you, that's again, like you said, man, that's one of the things that I love about you. You and I are, like you said, well versed in Batman, and when we see something, we're like, that's not, that's not
Right.
it, and it's just like, and what I was excited for though is I sent you this thing for Entertainment Earth, 1966 Batcave.
Yes, I saw that.
Oh,
Oh,
I had the 66 Batmobile sitting down there, and I'm sitting there going, oh, that would look just, you know what I mean? I could take that whole shelf and just put that as the Batcave, put my Batmobile right there. You know what I mean?
yeah. And what's funny is I have the Bat computer to go in it.
Ooh.
I've got the Bat computer and all.
Oh.
I've got the 66 Bat computer and all that stuff. So, to have the part of the Batcave to do it. Oh God, dude, I was so want it. So yeah, I believe me, if I had the fundage, that would
Right?
be a definite one. Anything
I've,
else
I've got,
we want to put on
go ahead.
Batman or the Scarecrow before we close the file?
Say it again.
Anything else you want to say before we close the file?
No, we can close the file on that, but I'd like to say something before we take off.
Yeah, go ahead. We'll
That,
close the file on
yep.
that. Been closed. The floor is yours, sir.
Well, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, the Cosmic Portal would like to announce that we put in for this convention. Sadly, we were waiting around for MarsCon to get back with us, and we haven't heard anything. So we put in for
Convivial.
Convivial. I was a little excited about it because this is a brand new convention, correct? This is the first time this is coming out.
Yeah, so this is the old people of MarsCon who used to run MarsCon back in the day, who were kind of, for lack of better terms, not happy with how things were being run. So they started their own convention. So this is a revival, if you will, of the old MarsCon style of doing things, which is why it says a weekend long geek party. Because the way it's been presented to myself, as far as described, is just going to be just that, just a bunch of geeks getting together partying. So we should have a good time. I am glad you guys are going to be. This is going to be a great opportunity. I'm sorry that things didn't work out the way they should have, but sometimes maybe it's for the best.
I think
You know,
so. I just, one, it was going to be a little difficult to be where we were, away from you guys, and we were going to tag team the conventions. We were going to go live there, and then pull you guys in and broadcast. But again, I've turned in 5 emails and 5 applications. I know my media coordinator turned in at least 5. And we were told that in September we were going to get heard from, and then we didn't hear from him. Then it was going to be October. And then when I sent in my last request, I got on their Facebook page, hey, we have 2 spots open for fan tables. And I was like, okay, well, then I guess that means we didn't get it. And then Virginia Imperial had said, hey, I turned my application in a long time ago too. I haven't heard back from it. So apparently they're being very picky on who they're letting in and who they want, to do their stuff. So, I mean, that's cool. And, even if we don't get a table here, we'll be with you guys having a ball. Cosmic Portal, of course, we have our Star Trek group that'll be there. We have our Star Wars group that will be there. And of course, you and I will be there. So Star Wars, Star Trek. That's right. Star Trek, Star Wars, DC will be definitely covered. It is going to be a great time for everyone. Here it is on Facebook, ladies and gentlemen. If you'd like to come check it out. They have a lot of interesting little things up here. And
they are very responsive to anything you send them. Would you not agree?
Oh, no, very. I would. Matter of fact, 3 days ago, they put this up. And when you contacted me about it, I was like, okay, cool. When I put my thing in, and okay, 8 emails were sent in by the media coordinator of the Cosmic Portal, and I sent in 5. So they got 13 applications from us sent in, and we had nothing. But I contacted them, and they told me within 30 days they'd get back to me. And then they were like, we'll check out on the fan tables as well. So, I mean, the panels, because we wanted to do the Matriarchs of Fandom, which is our all-female show. And then I wanted to do a Trek show, which I was really hoping, if we do get it, that you'd be a part of.
Oh, yeah, I have no problem as long as, they're not.
As long as it doesn't interfere with whatever panel you're doing, I mean, that's even
absolutely.
if we did. But, I figured that'd be kind of cool. Then you could wear your Klingon cloak, get up there. But, guys, you need to come check out this convention. Whether we get a table or not, we will be there in full swing. We will be giving away so much junk. Between 757 Geek Fandoms and the Cosmic Portal, and of course, Detective Garrett and myself, we'll always sneak some Batman stuff in there. You'll never have to worry about that. But we
never got to worry about
it. Yeah, right? We will be giving away a lot of stuff. So please come check us out. Come subscribe to the 757 Geek Fandoms page, the Cosmic Portal page, and of course, our YouTube page to win. As a matter of fact, this is kind of funny because I had said it earlier in the video, and I'll say it right here. And I know this is not a Star Wars page, but we have a lightsaber that we're giving away with a lightsaber sheath. And all you have to do is subscribe. But to win it, you have to be in Williamsburg. You have to be at that convention to win. This is not something that we're mailing out. This is not something that we're doing. It is going to be right there at the fan table. So that's how you win it. You have to be a subscriber, and that's how you win it. Big L and I will come up with some other stuff to, like I said, to give away and everything else for the Dogs of Gotham. We really appreciate all of you that are listening and have supported us from day one. It is our dream to keep this going. We had our very first convention. Our big show was at a convention. And it was something that I'll never forget. And it just gets me excited for us to do more. So I want to thank all of you. And I'm going to let you close this out, sir.
Well, yeah, definitely. We appreciate everybody, and again, thank you for allowing myself to join you on this Dogs of Gotham, quest into Batman and his cohorts and all of that. I always have a blast with this. I know we can't do them all the time. We both have so much going on. Neither one of us have actual jobs. It feels like we should have jobs as much as we're constantly doing. I know you agree with that 100%.
Yes, sir.
Um, if I could get paid to do this, I think I'd do this way over a regular job. But this seems to be a lot more work, though. But yeah, that being said, this has been great. We will do another iteration, probably between Thanksgiving and Christmas, a special edition, because there's a ton of Batman Christmas shows and comic books out there
Oh yeah.
that would kind of Jingle All the Way, Batman Smells, Joker Got Away, all that kind of thing. We may have to visit some of that stuff. So stay tuned for the next show. It will be announced. Guys, we will continue to do everything we can in 757 Geek Fandoms for our community. We have some food drives coming up in November. We have toy drives coming up in December. So stay tuned for directions and information about that stuff. We're going to depend on you, our Portal families, to help us with that. We'll have our things that we'll put in together as myself and Calvus Rand and Jedi Joe and his family and Miss Liz. We all come together and do stuff, but we're going to be calling on you guys to help us out and do things as well. So we're not asking you to go deep in your pocket. We're just saying, hey, if you got a little extra, share it. That's all we're going to say. With that being said, sir, you guys have a great night. Thank you for everything. Be kind to each other.
I definitely agree with that, because you never know when the next Gotham villain that you might run into.
Please subscribe and hit that notification bell, and thanks.